Hi everyone. Can you all hear me? Can you signify if you can hear me on the chat, please? Okay, yes. Sorry about that. And sorry we've delayed you guys. So please, is the speaker here? Tosin, are you here? Is the speaker here as well? Okay, great. If the speaker is here, we can start. Kennedy, are you here? Apologies, guys. I'm trying to get the speaker, so we'll just start.
So now we're back. Let's get straight into it. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Apologies for the technical difficulty. We've been trying so hard to figure this out for you. So we're just going to be having our discussion today, and we'll be talking about breaking into product management. Please, if you can hear me and if you can see me and everything is all good on your end, just let me know by typing something in the chat box, please. Just leave a comment or leave 1, 2, I am there in the chat box, please. Okay. Precious said it's fine. Okay, so we'll just go straight into our discussions for today. Just to start with, I'm going to be giving you a brief information about myself. My name is Kehinde Durodola-Tunde. I finished from Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, did bachelor's in agriculture. My course was animal nutrition. And I just recently completed my master's in applied artificial intelligence and data analytics, University of Bradford, UK. I've worked in multiple industries after my graduation in about 2018 and before moving finally into tech. Okay, yeah, so before moving finally into tech, and at the moment I'm currently building 2 startup projects, Kobe and Monimo. But before I decided to venture into building my startup projects, I worked very briefly with a fintech startup in Nigeria before moving over to the UK, and I've got a couple of experience across different industries in tech. But right now, I'm currently building Kobe and Monimo. Kobe they are both 2 fintech projects, something novel. One is in Kobe is in NFC payments, contactless payments, and Monimo is an open banking payment technology. All right, an overview. Let's just give what it means to become a successful product manager. Essentially, becoming a successful product manager involves multifaceted journey, blending education skills acquisition, and hands-on experience. It typically starts by cultivating a strong foundation in relevant fields such as business, technology, and design. So, as you know, stick to the very popular product triangle, which is about design, engineering, and business. So, product design stands for design, and engineering is the product development, and the business is the product marketing side of things. And as we all know, if you've been researching about product management is the sweet intersection between business, design, and engineering. And essential skills so my conversation today will be tailored for towards people who are looking to break into product management, and the essential skills required for becoming an exceptional product manager is analytical skills, communication, strategic thinking, and user centric. Analytical thinking talks about how you are able to synthesize information from data to make decisions. Because essentially, as a product manager, you will not just be making feelings off your guts. You'll be making data informed feeling, looking at information and then synthesizing information out of data. Having conducted user research via surveys, live interviews, focus group, you would need to make decisions of those kind of things. And communication, bridging the gap between teams. product management is a sweet intersection that cuts across different functions in any organization. So as a product manager, your role would require that you have conversation with marketing, design, risk, finance, business development, sales, compliance, legal. So as a product manager, it's super expedient for you to be able to make a good presentation, communicate with your stakeholders, and actually present your case properly to both internal and external stakeholders. And strategic thinking, it is very expedient that a product manager is able to see the big vision of the organization and drive the company as the teams as a whole towards that direction. So you'll be responsible for the product vision and the roadmap development, which is coming off the product strategy that you have set for the organization. And the user-centric mindset literally talks about having the customer in your mind. As a product manager, you essentially should be the voice of the customer in the room where the big hippos are, the ISP, the officials. They would come with a big vision. They'll come with feature requests. Different heads of departments will be coming with what they think and what they expect you to build. But it is your job as the product manager to ensure that they keep the customer as the focus of whatever feature, whatever product, and whatever strategy you're going to be employing in your development process. And next things, we'll be talking about the education requirements. As you all know, there's no clear-cut path into product management at the moment. There is nowhere you go and study a bachelor's degree to come out to become a product manager. This at the moment doesn't exist. So it is required that you learn how to combine your existing skill set with your current expertise, existing skill sets, your current experience, and your expertise, while you also learn how to develop new skills to delve into product management. So if you are wondering how I didn't study computer science, no engineering background, probably you studied maybe fine arts or English or Yoruba in the university and you're interested in tech, product management is still something you can do. You don't essentially need a computer science experience or a computer science background to come into tech. You can make do with whatever current skills you have currently. But what is most expedient and what's most essential is that you have the heart and the mind to really develop the skills required before you get the job and while you're on the job. Is a continuous learning process. So I'll tell you what a day in the life of a product manager looks like. Essentially, you just in meetings. Most of the time, you spend a bulk of your time going from one meeting to another. And it's not just meetings, like it's not just you're not just attending meetings for meeting's sake. It is that you are attending internal meetings, external meetings. It's either you are trying to learn how a customer interacts with your product, or you are trying to onboard a new client, or you're trying to enter a partnership with a TPP, third-party provider, or essentially you are doing meetings. And when you're not doing meetings as a product manager, you are either spending time doing some type of user research or market research, or you are writing PRDs, essentially product requirement documents, which essentially captures the vision, the mission, and the user story of any feature or product you are trying to build. But most often than not, most of the time, you spend your time in meetings, talking with stakeholders, your C-level executive, speaking with investors, and all those kind of things that has to do with more than 2 or 3 persons. And this is why it is expedient as a product manager that you own your communication skills and your presentation skills, because most of the time your job requires a lot of things. And typically a day in Kowe looks like this, where we'd have engineering meetings. We'll come together and review what we have developed in terms of the product, identify areas that needs to be fixed, get feedback, bug feedbacks from customers, but right now we're yet to launch. So it's going to be me as the customer using the product, identifying bugs and feedback for the design and engineers. And typically that's how a day goes in the life of a product manager. And this is my quote. I say, product management is fast becoming a sweet choice for no-code new entrants into tech, and the competition is fiercer now. So because most of the time typically most people who are coming into tech right now will feel that they don't want to do anything coding related, and they just want to do something really sweet that brings you super close to the engineers, but eliminates the coding aspect. Yeah, product management is that sweet spot for you. It pays well, you don't write code, you work with engineers, and then you're just fine. If you really love the technical part of things, you can get close to an engineer and really upgrade your technical knowledge and understanding along the journey of product management. But trust me, now it's fiercer to get into product management because we are starting to see the rise of internal conversion from non-technical roles like consultants coming into product. And most companies right now would rather consider internal converts than hiring from the outside, except you are fortunate to get yourself plugged into a product management grad role that is open to outsiders. But the competition for product management roles is much more fiercer, and it puts a responsibility, on you to hack your growth career. So as aspiring PM or early PMs, the responsibility essentially is for you to learn how you can hack your career growth and get to the top as quickly as possible. And I will be taking us through tips on how to hack your career growth. These things I've written here are things I've done myself. They are not things I read somewhere, but these are practical things that I have done for myself and has sort of brought me where I am today. I'm still early in my career as a product manager, but then I was able to learn these things via reading several articles on blog and listening to various number of podcasts on Spotify and Product School online platform, YouTube also. And I've just documented some of the things that have been super helpful for me. So number one thing I would recommend for anyone trying to hack your career is to create an online community for yourself. LinkedIn is my best platform, but if you use Twitter user, you can also use Twitter, but LinkedIn is my go-to for building a professional online community. When I mean create an online community, I'm saying create a community where you tell your story, which is my second point. Share your career progress regularly. People love reading success story. And when I mean success story, I'm not talking about the big break success story, or that I made my transition, I got a job. No. Success story in that I have decided to become a product manager, and I am taking my first course with Jupiter Academy. That is a success story that people love to read. Upon completion of your course, even before you complete your course, if there's something big you learned or something, a framework that really resonates with you and you think it's worth sharing, share it. Is another success story of something you have learned while you're taking a course with Jupiter Academy. And eventually, when you finish your course and you wrote a PRD, or you built a product, or you collaborated on a project while you're in your course with Jupiter Academy, you want to share it with your community because people love reading success story. Another thing, next most important thing, this is going to be super helpful in interviews. Read a lot of materials. This cannot be overemphasized. You want to read a lot of materials, Medium, blog posts. You want to consume a lot of content on YouTube. Listen to product leaders speak. What this will do for you is that it is going to update your product vocabulary ASAP. One thing that you don't want to experience when you are interviewing as a product manager is that you want to be using generic words when you can actually use product specific terms. The interviewer is not going to consider you for your job. If I was the interviewer, I wouldn't consider you for the job. Why? Because it means that you have not taken I'm talking about for an associate role. It means that you are not taking your time to learn how product managers talk, and that is the how a product manager talk. Trust me, when you do your research, listen to a lot of product leaders speak, you are going to recognize these vocabularies and you're going to start to use them yourself. So reading a lot of material is going to help you upgrade your product vocabulary as quickly as possible. Another thing that was super helpful for me when I was making my transition into product management is that I had a transition roadmap with clear timeline. I told myself in 6 months, I must get my first associate product management job role. Unfortunately for me, I got the offer in my 5th month. Is that going to be your case? Yeah, well, maybe. But I did a ton of things. I had a clear roadmap. I had my daily activity. I had my weekly routine. I was reaching out to a lot of hiring managers, tech CEOs, and product management executive and leaders on LinkedIn every other day until I got my first role as a product manager. So I did not get my product. I didn't get my first product role typically from applying to a job. I got it by engaging in the DMs of executives and product leaders. And that is something I want to recommend you do. So create a transition roadmap, a clear one, and enroll to courses. Jupiter Academy currently offers the course, product management courses. You want to engage in this type of courses, go on MOOC platforms like Coursera, EDX, enroll yourself to courses. There are many free online programs that you can also enroll yourself to. What this does for you is that it helps you build your confidence eventually when you get in on the job. At least you have familiarized yourself with some concept like writing user story, drawing up roadmap, drawing user flow, using some of the tools eventually you'll be using like Figma, Whimsical, Miro, Jira, Conference, and you would have familiarized yourself with what you will be doing day to day as a product manager and never stop learning. When you get eventually when you make your transition into a role, that is when you want to intensify in your learning journey, because trust me, whatever you have done up until the point you got your first product management role is not what it will be required to keep yourself on the job. Else, you will be an average product manager. From the very first time you make your transition into a role, you want to aggressively spend a lot of time learning new stuff that helps you get better on the job and more excellent on your role. Why is that essential? Some product managers find it very hard to eventually combine their current product role with actively learning and developing themselves. But it's a disservice to yourself because you realize that the course of your career journey as a product manager, there's little to what your job contributes to that. The bulk of it will come from the extra work you put every night into developing yourselves with courses on Coursera, Jupiter Academy, Udemy, EDX, and the several networking events you would go for, or the online engagement and the online community you build for yourself on platforms like LinkedIn and Twitter. So enroll to courses and don't stop learning. I cannot underemphasize the role that point number 6 plays. Share your story. The truth is that nobody's going to blow your trumpet for you. You are the best marketer of your brand, of your story, and of yourself. And don't expect a company to just naturally hand over the next level of your career to you. You are the one that is responsible to share your story every other day. Everything you consider a little achievement is big achievements in the marketplace, and you want to validate yourself over and over in the marketplace as early as possible in your career and as quickly as possible, so the big opportunities quickly opens up to you. So share your story and don't grow in isolation. One thing I find out that a lot of people who make transition into product managers do is that they want to grow in isolation. Like they want to get a full grasp of what they are doing on the job before they start sharing. But trust me, you don't have time for that much experimentation. You want to do public experimentation, like putting yourself out there, sharing what you think you know about product management, about what you do, about how you are going about your job, and get feedback as quickly as possible to know what to improve and what not to improve and what you can do better. And trust me, the more you share, the more people take note of you, and the more you are top of the mind when it comes to opportunity sharing. So you want to share your story and don't grow in isolation. And if you can get a mentor who is interested in your success, please get one. There's a significant role that a mentor would play in your product journey that you don't just want to miss out of that opportunity. So if you can get a mentor for yourself, get one. I think there are several platforms you can check out. It intelligent people based in the UK, but there are also, you can also get mentors from there. You can get mentors from adplist.com. There are mentors on there. Just get a mentor who is genuinely interested in your success and in your progress. And if you can get one for yourself, you're going to experience an accelerated career. And there are many more other ways you can grow out your career, but these are the ones I want to share today. Thank you very much. And feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn as Kehinde Drodala, Tunde. And then feel free to chat with me on WhatsApp. I'm happy to take questions. I mean, if you have specific questions for me, just reach out to me on any of these platforms. I'm going to respond as quickly and as soon as I can. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions for me?
Okay.
Okay. Hello, Tosin. Over to you.
From the chat box, please indicate if you can hear me. I just drop a message in the chat box. Okay, Kehinde, can you hear me? You're back now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Tosin.
Awesome. All right, awesome. Thank you very much for that insightful session. Before I even go further, I would need to apologize officially to the entire house, beginning from Kehinde himself, our host, our instructor, pardon me, and the entire attendees. Apologies for this. Network just did us really big this morning, but this afternoon rather, but I'm glad we are back. Okay, so before we go into our question and answer, because I believe that we have questions, please, you can begin to drop those questions in the chat session right now, where you can begin to drop those questions, type them in. We'll go into them shortly. Before we go into them, I just want to show us something briefly. So, yes, as you know, this masterclass was organized and it's being hosted by Jupiter Academy. And for those that do not know Jupiter Academy is an edtech startup, basically passionate about beginners and people willing to transition into the world of tech, taking courses like product management, product design, data analysis, and data science. For the benefits of this masterclass, basically talking about product management. Now, I want to show you something. So I know that you might have been wondering. So all of the things that I'm going to be sharing my screen briefly, shortly right now, so that you can see what I'm about to do. Okay. Please do let me know once you see my screen. Okay, can you see my screen from there? Okay, can you see my screen?
I think it's still sharing.
Okay. Please do let me know once you can. Okay, this is variance in network. Showing from my end that sharing?
Yes, I can see your screen now.
Okay, awesome. So, for the sake of our audience, please, I'm not able to check the chat box right now to know if you guys are responding to me, but I'll do that as soon as I'm done pitching. But please just follow me. Okay, so you're probably wondering, despite all, I mean, for all that Kendi has said, so how do you land your first product management? Okay, now I personally would say that you enroll in a certified training institution, right? A certified training institution, and how do you know a training institution that is certified or the one that is good? These are qualities, or we say traits of a training institution that is fit for you to get started in or with. It should be one that gives you access to training professionals, people that would that understand the rudiments of product management, that understand what it means to be a product manager, right? Understand the principles that will not let you embark on a trial and error journey, right? Of course, you would make your own mistakes, but you would not be making great mistakes. I mean, they've gone through it, and because they've gone through it, they would help you pass through that beginning phase without having to go through so much ordeal, right? An institution that provides you with a mentor, right? And if there's anything that has really helped me in my transitioning, it will be having classmates, having people that understand what it means to be on this table together, right? That you can share experiences together, you can be accountable for each other, right? And a training institute is one that knows what is working right now, not one that doesn't know the trend, okay? That will teach you the tools that is actually working, and ultimately one that provides you with certificates, probably one that is internationally recognized, because I mean, you know the way Nigeria is, for those that are in Nigeria, and the world entirely is even going global. So whatever it is you're doing right now should be something that can serve you, that can provide you an image or a presence globally, right? So that is what is bringing me to Jupiter Academy Product Management Mastery. Now, at Jupiter Academy Product Management Mastery, these are the things that you get to benefit from if you enroll with us. You get to understand the role and responsibilities of a product manager. You learn how to gather market research and customer insights. You develop product strategies, including defining product vision, creating roadmaps, and developing pricing and go to market strategies. Okay, you learn how to plan and prioritize a product, right? You learn how to launch and market product performance as well. You get to understand how to monitor it, right, and how to iterate. You understand the product life cycle and the importance of continuously improving the product. I mean, what essence of having a product that is not being developed, right? And you also gain knowledge and experience in product metrics and analytics. Um, Furthermore, these are the things you still get to learn from us. I'm not going to bore you or give you waste your time. Let me move further. Now, our courses are 8 weeks, right? Each of them, our product management course is 8 weeks. Online intensive training, so distance is not even a barrier in any way. 100% virtual, plus a Saturday live session. Okay, so it is not like a course that we can't even see anybody. We're not even seeing our instructors. You get to meet with your instructors, and our classes are minimum 90 minutes per classes, and our certificates are internationally recognized. We are currently a partner with CPD, right, which makes our certificates recognized in the UK and in the US, just in case you are looking beyond the four walls of Nigeria or you are outside the four walls of Nigeria. Okay, we provide practical examples, case studies, and assignments, which will be handled every week. Okay, now for all of these things I've said, and even the ones that Kendi has said before now, they are not for you if number one, you are lazy. I mean, there is this joke we do, or adage you say just that there's no food for the lazy man. Anyone who is not embarrassed of who he is or who he was last year or where he's coming from and doesn't want to be better shouldn't even be called someone that is learning at all. So if you're lazy, this is not for you because you're going to be putting in so much work. Imagine Kennedy doing all of this today. He had to take out time to prepare his slides. I have to take out. Can you hear me, Kennedy?
Yes, I can hear you. Tosin.
Oh, all right, awesome. So, secondly, if you can't follow instructions, I mean, you attend webinars or seminars and they will tell you, oh, mute the mic, kindly drop your questions in the chat box. Little instructions like that. If we can't follow instructions, then I'm sorry, this is not for you. And finally, if you're not tired of where you were, if you don't want to put food on your table, then I'm sorry, this is not for you. Now back to Jupiter Academy. This, like I said, our courses runs for 8 weeks, right? In week 4, Katie, are you with me?
Yes. Tosin, I can hear you. Yes.
I think I'm getting a feedback. I think I'm hearing things you. Okay, so let me just continue. So week 1, we'll be having introduction to product management. Okay, what is product management? What is the important key skills and responsibilities of a product manager? In the view of product management, product management, you also having a market and other than research to identify opportunities and trends. Remember, I made at the beginning, so we gathering customer feedback and insights, learning how to analyze data to inform up product decisions, uh, learning product strategy, how to define product visions and goals, creating a roadmap and prioritizing features. We'll learn how to develop pricing and go-to-market strategy. Week 3 will be agile development and Scrum methodology. 4 will be product and user experience. You learn how to find a product and how to use this response you get from the end user. Okay, right? Because these are the things that would actually influence product development. Um, the quite product launch and market with this product techniques and analytics. You learn to develop strategy, performance, and team. Analyze your data to inform product decisions as well. Using analytic tools to right. We step on manage the product lifestyle, learn how to manage product lifestyle, and ultimately with a scenario-based assessment. So we have an assessment. And one thing that in our courses, our programs, is that we do help our students revamp their CV, help them create cover letter, portfolio development, link optimization. And these are things that make student solution for your prospective hire. So these are the things that we need to cover. Like I said, our customer is 100% virtual, organization, um, and all of the resources that I've said before. Now there is a bonus, or there are bonuses.
Hello, everyone. I think I'll just carry on from where she stopped by just attending to a couple of questions that I can already see in the comment section. Say again, please. Tosin, so I just want to quickly go ahead to answer some of the questions I saw in the comment section.
Can you hear me?
Tosin, I can hear you, yes.
Okay, all right. This will soon be over.
Okay, so I think I'll just go ahead to answer the questions. So I see here someone said, can a person passionate about product management take project management courses, or it will be a distraction? So as a product manager, you will do some type of work that involves project management, right? So taking a project management course might not be a distraction if you are still able to focus your attention on core product work, because as a project manager, your primary work revolves around timeline and stakeholder management. But as a product manager, your primary work
Hello?
involves cost. Hello?
Hear me now?
Hello, Tosin. I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't. I just went through me. I had to leave and get back again. But I'm audible to
Okay, I
you, yeah?
was answering the questions in the comment section, Tosin. Hello? Hello, Tosin.
Yes, I can hear you clearly. I can hear you. Okay, yes, I'm audible.
I said I was answering the questions in the comment section. Is that okay?
Okay, all right, yeah, that's fine. Please go on. Please go on. Probably when you're done, I will continue with my page.
Okay. Yeah, so that's that about that. And then your work as a product manager essentially revolves around managing customers and the products. So although it's just that there is an overlap when it comes to doing the work of a product manager and doing the work of a project manager when it comes to managing timeline, both as a project manager and as a product manager. But depends on where you intend to get your first job. If you're trying to get your first job in a company that is well established and every role is defined into product manager, product owner, scrum master, delivery manager, doing the work of a taking project management course to be a product manager might not be an advantage. But if you are hoping to get your first job in a typical startup environment, fast paced, limited resources, one person, multiple hats, that would fit. It just depends on how you are planning and how you are crafting your career. And that's how I would answer that. So it's not a disadvantage. It could be an advantage and it could also be a disadvantage. It's just where you get to work that matters at the end of the day. Can a project manager and a product manager share roles? In my opinion, and this is my opinion alone, no. A product manager can double as a project manager, but most of the time, a project manager can't double as a product manager. Why? Because the core of a project manager's work revolves around timeline and resource management. But a product manager does much more than that. Your work has to do with user survey, understanding the customer's pain points, particularly managing stakeholders as regards to the product. And meanwhile, a project manager's work revolves around timeline management, timeline scope of the project, and the resource allocated to the project. So that's how to answer that. And let me see quickly if I can find any other question. Do I really need a system to. When you say a system, are you saying like a laptop or a PC? Is that what you mean? Please sort of clarify that quickly so I know what system you're talking about. Is it wise to have both product and project management skill? Absolutely, it is wise, because most of the time, the companies that will give you the opportunity to get into product at the early stage of your career will be a startup, and a startup likes to get multiple roles in one person. So if you can wear multiple hats, but don't be distracted that a project manager is not a product manager. So while you are trying to double your skills and while you're trying to build on multiple fronts, you want to be clear on what your role is called. And you're a product manager. But fine, it's good to have. It's good to know how to work on Jira roadmap. It's good to know how to manage a Gantt chart. It's good to know how to use the prioritization framework to estimate timeline that your product development process or your engineering, to measure your engineering bandwidth. It's good to know all of those things, but you want to be heavy on the product management skills if you're going to be a product manager. And then the next question I can see here, what skills does one need to possess to become a product manager? Also, I think I mentioned a couple of the skills in the session. Analytic skills, communication, presentation skills. But these are interesting soft skills to have. But the really core skills that will make you excel in any interview will be skills such as market research. You should be able to conduct a market research and know if a product is going to be viable in any market. You should be able to also conduct customer research, like defining a user persona and doing some strategy on how to identify the the atomic segment of the customers that would adapt your product quickly the most. And you want to be able to you want to have a solid understanding of agile methodology. Most companies now work with the agile methodology, and you want to have that at least off your head. You want to be able to talk about it. And I'd also recommend that, although not expedient, although not essential, you want to have some technical understanding. As a product manager, you majorly will be working with, depending on where you eventually find yourself, depending on the company. But most startups, you will find yourself working in companies, in a company, and you'll be find yourself working with engineers. It will be good, it will be a nice to have as a product manager if you can communicate with engineers. Engineers find it easier to talk with product manager that have some level of understanding of technical things. So it will be hard for an engineer to speak with you if you have zero understanding of how an API works or anything that is around database and all these kind of interesting things, back-end stuff, front-end stuff. You want to at least take a few courses that gives you the basic understanding to be able to speak with an engineer. Yeah, so that's what I would say about the skills that is required for a product manager. Let me just see if the other questions here. Oh, you mean a laptop? Can I use my phone during my learning process? Yeah, depend on how you are able to really commit yourself to the process of using a phone when you need a wide screen. But when you need to do research things like document, because as a product manager, you'll be doing a lot of documentation. Do you want to document on your phone? Are you able to perform comprehensive research on your phone and do documentation? I think it would just be easy for you to get any type of laptop you can get during your learning process for convenience sake. But if for some reason you're unable to get one, you can also do it on your phone. Okay, please clarify me, how do I begin studying on product management? Yeah, so Jupiter Academy actually can be your first point of contact. You can start with their course. I believe that once you enroll to their course, you are going to sort of get a roadmap for yourself. And if you need, maybe if you are asking me, if this question is directed towards having a clear transition a clear transition roadmap, you can sort of reach out to me. I can share some of the materials I have with you with regards to starting your journey as a product manager. But I think I know Jupiter Academy should be able to set you on the right path with regards to that. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, they already answered that. Precious, you can reach out to them on that. Yeah. Is it advisable to start learning how to code, learning how to use Postman for testing when you are transitioning, or just focus on all that? Yeah, this is a very interesting question. I would advise you not to, if you are becoming a product manager, you don't need to learn how to code. You only need to learn how to communicate with an engineer. And there are courses out there that can just tell you how to communicate with an engineer. You don't need to know how to code to be able to speak with an engineer. If that is clear, you don't need to learn how to code to be able to talk to an engineer. You only need to know how to say the right things to an engineer. Okay, so let me give you a funny example. So I got my first role as a product manager, and as we all know, in the real world, endpoint talks about where we are trying to get to. But in the technical world, in the technical scenario, endpoint literally talks about an API. But I didn't know that. So in my meeting in the first week, I was asking, so what is the endpoint? And everybody was looking at me. And the product manager, the senior product manager on the team then told me that, okay, so in tech, endpoint actually means API. It's not what me in a layman would say as an endpoint. So if you're on a journey, the endpoint to you is where we are trying to get to. But to a technical guy, an endpoint is not where we are trying to go to. It's literally an API. So this kind of jargon are the kind of things you need to be able to distinguish that would allow for ease of communication when you're speaking with an engineer. Okay, yeah, so that's that. And then the next question I can see here, do you think it's necessary to take core design course to be a product manager? I mean, proficient in Figma to build user interface? No, I don't think it's necessary for you to take core design course. See, trust me, there are primary function of a product manager that you don't have enough time to start learning how to become a pro engineer or a pro designer. You have your primary function as a product manager. You want to be a pro product manager before you want to start becoming a pro engineer or a pro designer as a product manager. There's a lot of things you need to learn. You still learn a lot around crafting the right strategy, writing business cases, writing functional requirement documents or product requirement documents, conducting user surveys, doing market research. These are the work of a product manager. You don't have the time to become an exceptional backend engineer or a professional designer. However, in your work as a product manager, you would create several user flows. You would create different customer journeys. You would create wireframes. But you don't need to be an expert at this, except you are working in an environment where the management has decided that your cap you must wear everything as a cap. But essentially, it's not possible for you as an APM, associate product manager, to already be, except you're coming from a technical background. Then maybe you had a knowledge of coding, and you're making transition into product management. Fine, you already know how to code, you're making transition. Or you were previously a designer and you're coming into product management. But if you're starting your career fresh in tech, you necessarily don't have to learn all these things. All that is required is that you are able to communicate with whoever you're dealing with and whichever team you're dealing with per time. And then, is Scrum and Agile a principle or a software? They're principles. So you mentioned about market research. Is it the same thing as market survey? No, I don't quite get what your question is. Market research is understanding how your product will fit into the market. Is there a market for this product? Knowing how large how large the market is, what's your total addressable market, the market you eventually want to service, and understanding the market dynamics, staying abreast of the market dynamics, understanding where the market is going to, understand the key players, what they're doing, what regulators are doing to change the market, and that's the direction of market research. And I believe if you enroll into Jupiter Academy course, you will learn more about market research. Okay, so and that's that for Jupiter to answer. And I think I've answered all the questions required on the comment section right now. If there's any other question, you can just reach out to me on LinkedIn or on my WhatsApp. I'm happy to answer any more questions that you have. Over to you, Tosin. Tosin, are you there? And so, just before we end the class today, Jupiter
Hi,
Academy
Kende.
is offering. Yeah, hi, hello.
Yeah, sorry we lost Tosin due to internet connection. But yeah, thank you for the session. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. I can see a lot of questions, and thank you, Kennedy, for taking your time to answer all of these questions. This has been a great session. But for those asking about how they can start, you can reach out to us on WhatsApp, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, anywhere. Just look for Jupiter Academy. I also drop our WhatsApp contacts if you check the chat. You can always reach out to us, and I'm sure the Tosin drop any link. There's supposed to be a link. We're supposed to award somebody with a 100% scholarship. But if she did not, I'm just going to drop the link here. Just take the assessment, and we'll get back to one lucky winner. Yeah. So in that note, we would call it a day. Thank you, Kennedy, once again. We really appreciate you, your time, and your efforts. Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you, everybody,
Thank
and
you.
bye.
Bye for now.